So Outlaws, like Vandy mentioned, didn't want to spend any more time than they had to on that gooey, icky, sticky Brexus. And now we are going over to the old DS. Now, this is one of those maps where the Ring-a-Ring-a-Rosie does seem to happen quite a bit. You know, teams like to do the dance. And should it be Crimson that was going up against Outlaws there? I dare say we would see something very similar to that because, yeah, could do.
Yeah, but I think the difference in this map is, yes, you can have those situations where you have teams kind of rotating around trying to rotate the other in taking the shrines, but the size of this map makes it a little bit different, and also having other things to worry about as well can make it a little bit more annoying to deal with. But yeah, it's one of those maps where you can have a decent amount of priority on to the global heroes like the Falstad, like the Dahaka, and just use that to further that kind of playstyle where you just want to be running your opponents around the map and making the most of the advantages around the shrines and trying to get that DK as often as possible to get experience leads through that avenue.
So we're just getting the ready up confirmations from both of these two teams, ladies and gentlemen. We are in the lobby now. Outlaws are going to be on blue, and Rich Gang E-Thugs are going to be on red. It is going to be Dragonshy, currently a one-map advantage to the Outlaws. Don't forget, the winner of this will be going through to face Crimson for the coveted title of champions of the Pretrainer 2 Preseason. So the readies have come out from the Outlaws. We're just waiting on the Rups for the Rich Gang E-Thugs. And if you haven't done so already, go over to their Twitter page and have a look at their announcement video. It is 420 lit, like, yeah, anyway, it's got Lil Wayne in it. Who cares?
It's a load of fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, this team has been just a load of fun.
They have, yeah. So I think we're just getting the Rups coming out now. Yes, there we go. Going live in 5 seconds. The call coming out from Blank the host. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pass you back over to your casters, Skimmy and Vandy, to take you through Dragonshire. It's game 2 of Rich Gang going up against Outlaws.
That it is, and well, if you know me, you know I absolutely adore Dragonshire. It's one of my favourite pastimes. It's my map of choosing, and I like to go Ring-a-Ring-a-Rosie because I like to always feel youthful and look like I'm 17.
Oh, I mean, I had a giant smile on my face as well because I'm like, Skimmy, ask and ye shall receive. The fact that we're on Dragonshire, because I remember you saying, can we get a Dragonshire today? Like, I'm extra keen. And I mean, you and I, we've always liked casting this one, and the reason being that it just allows such interesting decision making and team play because of the way the map is set up. The play around the shrines, very, very interesting to see how teams handle it.
Yeah, this map has it all. Bouncy castles, Happy Meals, drive-ins. I mean, what do you not have on this map? It brings all the chaos and all the action. And well, we're going to see how things open on after this one. Genji and ETC taken off the balls, so no hacking and slicing. But we will be seeing some hacking and slashing with old mate GM. Not in the poverty skin, but in the old American flag.
That skin's only reserved for you, Skimmy. I know you love it. You're the only one that can rock it, as far as I'm concerned. And Greymane, very, very strong pick on a map like this. He's got the wave clear. He's got the dive. He doesn't really give away much for your draft. So he's just a very good all-rounder. Still is. I think, as far as Blizzard's gone, he's probably one of the most balanced heroes out there, I feel. He doesn't do anything too overpowered, but he just fits a lot of what's required on a team, right?
Yeah, he just does everything, right? He's like the Rhaegar of assassins. Can clear, can
That's
kill,
why he's your favorite.
can poke. I mean, he's why he's my favorite, because I just like somebody in my life that can do it all.
Oh, look at that. All right. So first pick now, red team. They've got the first 2 picks that they can contend with. ETC off the board. So now they can be looking. Do they want to get their tanks first? Do they want to prioritize the support? As I said, Greymane's not going to give much away. So it's just about the security picks that they feel like they must have for their draft. So Arthas. Nice ones. With the Arthas last game, I mean, he was against that Sonya, not really getting much done. Sonya was just pulling him out of the lane. As you said, Fury trumps mana in that case. But with Arthas, the team fight that he can give you, landing those Frozen Wastes and Frozen Tempest, as well as the Howling Blast, it can really open up a team fight, especially if you pair him with a little guy named Lucio.
And that's what they're basically after, right? Is they're saying, look, we're not going to have the strongest of 1v1 matchups, but hey, if it does come to the team fighting element of the game, which we didn't have on Brex's holdout, we definitely will shine and do a lot of work, especially against Greymane and the Sonya. And obviously now with the Lucio into the player things as well, they're running away, but I can slow them all down. So we're back to even footing on that 100% movement speed. Leeming as well, potentially going to be the Fountain Force special with that one, looking for the resets, looking to go for the harder carry. Wasn't able to find it with the Kel fast, but will be looking to try and achieve it nonetheless this time around.
She's still a very, very strong pick, and she works quite well. There's lots of fights happening, I guess, off lane or out of the lane, so the minions don't really get in the way, and they're not really pesky. But in answer to that, she can get shut down pretty brutally by an Anubrak, and he's still available for play.
Well, that's it. They're hovering between two different bans there. They were initially considering the Gul'dan, and I can see the reasoning behind it to a degree, but Gul'dan, for the most part, does lack without that battery support, right, between Morales and the Orioles. So with the Lucio, maybe a bit of mobility, but at the end of the day, they already have enough wave clear, in my opinion, with the Greymane to then complement that with any rotating tank. So the Ubrak, as you say, yeah, fantastic for the denial, fantastic at the ability to jump on those mages, and I'm sure that's Fountain Force screaming at his team, saying, well, if you want me to carry, give me the best chance out there. In the end, however,
yeah,
they decide to spin the dial. It's almost like pass the bottle. Who are we going to ban? We're going to ban a Nubrek.
There you go, and I can already see if it is Fat 94 playing that Leeming, already breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief. There's nothing worse than just having that Nubrek breathing down your back, and more annoyingly, those little beetles blocking all of your skill shots. That you try and you're like, I'm using my skill, it's lining up, and then bam, little beetle eats it all, and you're like, great, that's a cooldown gone. Hovering that Morales as well. So in a battle of the sustain, especially in trying to win that bottom lane where we normally see a big push or a big siege sort of grouping coming out with about 3 players, it's a decent ban, especially knowing that Katori is quite favoring this.
And the other thing I actually want to say, the elephant in the room really, Van, is the fact that globals are so impactful on this map, especially Dahaka. Now, Gondo loves to play Dahaka. So I was expecting to see Gondo actually go that direction, the ability to burrow from top shrine to bottom shrine in a moment's notice in that instance and just force that fight in a very desirable situation where it's going to take a long time for your counterpart to rotate on through as well. Does surprise me. So opting for the complete dominance, they do in the end go for the fast serve, which I like. No need to really concern themselves with the Dahaki. Don't really put them in the 4-man rotation. Would be kind of awkward, unless they just want to reinvent the wheel.
Absolutely. But one global has been taken off the board. Falstad, also an equally popular pick. They know that they've got their mage damage, but Falstad, he could fill in for that for the physical range damage. I mean, Falstad, you can build him as a little bit of a bursty. We call him mage stat, don't we? When you just go, you get the hammerings, you stack it up, and you've got a lot of burst. And I've actually seen quite a, I guess, recurrence or resurgence of that hinterland blast coming into play. I mean, it always used to be Gus. The utility was too good to drop on Mighty Gus, but more often than not, I've seen a lot of people start to pick up their hinterland blast, favoring just the burst that it brings.
Yeah, I've actually noticed that as well, a lot as well. And in terms of sort of like the matchups of Falstad, a lot of the diving heroes like the Genji just threaten him so much that the Gus does nothing, right? So it feels like if I'm gonna die, I might as well take somebody down with me. Murden and the Malfurion do come on through.
Sorry, I was laughing. It's just the way you said it reminded me of the Simpson thing. You're like, the goggles do nothing, but you're like, the Gus does nothing. Just seeing poor Falstad. Gave me a good chuckle.
God damn.
Oh, dear. All right, next two picks. We've got that Muradin and Malfurion rolling out. Muradin, we haven't actually seen him at all today, at least on stream. And I'm a bit surprised. I still count him to be one of the tanks out there that can really get things done because he's just so tanky, but more importantly, he can really dive into that back line and disrupt it quite effectively.
Yeah, they got a lot of ways now to try and really take these heroes down, but it comes down to how do Outlaws try to piece this all together now? You've got that top lane with the Sonya, you're looking for a tank, and you're arguably looking for either another ranged assassin or another frontliner to really kind of disrupt and control. Now, Johanna could be an idea. Lunara springs to mind. There is the Johanna, so we've got the classic 3-man hero roster of Lahal coming out there. And the Johanna for the insurance policy. Now, it's not going to be Pandemonium, unfortunately. Once again, cucked away from her favorite hero.
Yep. Icebolt's tank only, and that means poor Panda gets demoted to the healer. But, like we said, I've been saying it, but I'll keep saying it. Just been doing a commendable job of filling in for Hiccup today.
Absolutely. And if it carries on like this, then Hiccup can just sit on the bench himself.
Yeah, he can become the manager now, running off the streets. He'll be the coach mom that Panda pretty much fills. Zeratul. All right, Skimmy. Stealth changes. What do you think of Zeratul now?
Zeratul's, I don't know, he's interesting. Hey, like I've seen people say that, stealth heroes are broken or stealth heroes are just garbage. But it always comes down to, in my opinion, how they function in a competitive setting. That's what I usually gauge stuff off. I don't really want to read what Reddit has to say because 9 times out of 10 they're all bronze and boosted. So, well, with that in mind, though, it is going to be Family 4 playing the Zeratul, so that's obviously going to allow Fesh to switch to the Li Ming. So, they've got the sniping potential now. You can obviously see what Outlaws have. They have that big team fight. They want to go for the collapse. Flipping it over, though, Rich Gang is saying, we're just going to find the picks. We're going to just try and snipe these squishies, and especially players like the Lucio and the Lunara.
Well, okay, Skimmy, let's take it back a moment there. You said, all right, so Outlaws, the way they've drafted, they want those fights, they want to engage. That Zeratul pick can really throw a spanner in the works. As long as they manage to keep up an experience, that Void Prism can really stop any sort of charge and really dictate how they want to fight. Almost like what we were talking about, what Gus used to be able to do. You dictate how you want the fight to go. This could be the Void Prism that then decides it. So Fat94, he's feeling confident as well that he can make picks happen for Fesh on this hero.
Like every hero on the side of Rich Gang right now has playmaking and setup potential. And speaking of, let's introduce their full lineup. Rich Gang on the right in the red. It's Fat94 subbing in from Team Nomia. He's playing the Zeratul, Fairy on Arthas, Fesh on Li Ming, Katori on the Malfurion, and Booty Pop rounds things out as the Muradin.
And currently leading with one game, we've got Team Outlaws rocking the blue. So Iceball playing Johanna, Lahal on Lunara, Pandemonium playing Lucio, Coffee on Greymane, and Gondo on Sonya.
Gondo on the Sonya. And there's your Lucio. So if you haven't had your breakfast, well, you're not getting the right nutrients to play here as the Storm at the highest level. And that's why it's faded away like the pixels that it is. That's nutrients right there for you. There's the damage. There's the wave clear. And then we're going to see how things pan out. Fairy already coming in for that level 1 gank attempt, trying to force out stuff, saying, please don't put me in the Sonya lane. Please, I beg you, win this 4-man rotation.
Don't put, just begging like, no, I don't want this. And Skimmy, just for the record, let's get Skimmy, instead of a carpet cleaning ad, a Lucio's ad. I'd love that. Fesh dropping dangerously low. And Lahal, with that poison coming out, he's shown us why we've nicknamed him the Toxic One. It's just so much poison damage coming out. He really does love any of the heroes where you can dish out a lot of those damage over time. Those dots.
Maybe far too many date nights with Panda and they just watch Bambi on repeat, and it's just been ingrained into his head that I need to play this one hero in particular. But one thing I actually do want to mention on a serious note is the fact that Ben is now on Zeratul allows him to play that more sort of roaming-centric role. So for the most part, it should be a 3v4 in the bottom lane for them, but it allows what's happening in the top lane right now. Gondo has been ganked on. He's down to 100, spinning for the sustain. He's nearly at the gate. If they can land at least one more auto attack, then he is a dead man there. So it's going to even up that trade. Looks like the readies have been called out. I'm seeing a ref span.
Oh, we have to do it. There you go.
There we go.
Ta-da! Could not find the pause or break key. Oops.
Ancient shrines
We didn't do the 3, 2, 1.
Dragon Knight.
And there we go with the 3, 2, 1. So completely ruining their attempt to go.
Yeah, I'm like 3, 2, 1, go. See you, mate. All right, there we go.
So, we're just giving the Outlaws the benefit of the doubt here. They are the new team on the block, so they need a little bit of help.
They need the help. I mean, if you have to verse Fan94 Zeratul, it's going to be a stressful game. And already you could see Gondo up there, as Fan94 was saying, should have fallen. Perhaps the countdown didn't quite help him out. But I mean, in terms of the lane matchups now as well, this really does then help Fairy. Like you said, with Gondo, if he is going to push that far, he needs to just be mindful. Push and then get out, otherwise that gank's going to be coming. At 94, he's looking for the gank attempt yet again.
He is, but Coffee's in support as well. He's ready to rock and roll with this fight, so he's going to be able to jump in if he so desires, looking for some permanent damage onto those two. They went for a very early night camp, so just accentuating the fact that they know that Fairy suffers in this 1v1 matchup. Let's just try and bully her as hard as we can, and let's force her to stick around here without any roaming potential.
I mean, as well, with that early Bruiser Cam coming out as well, Arthas plus Zeratul not the best wave clear on them right now. And Gondo, I mean, the sustain that this guy's getting and the damage that he's dishing out, there's so much pressure coming out on that top fort already, to the point where Katori has now rotated up.
Yeah. Drawing a lot of resources here, and this is not looking too good for them so far, because this allows them to pick up a free Dragon Knight if they so desire. No rotation has happened so far from the Outlaws, they don't seem to care. And once again, Gondo defies the odds, running away at 150 health, saying, "You can't kill me. I'm the gingerbread man."
He just gets away with barely anything, and I feel like Fat94 now would be getting quite frustrated. He's just living with slivers of health, and that's left the bottom lane now to be taken. So both shrines, with Pandemonium getting the cap on the Dragon Knight. Normally you don't want your support in the Dragon Knight because it just means that you get no healing while you're trying to siege. But in this early game Dragon Knight, it's not really going to make or break the game. You can just do enough damage. It doesn't have the most health in the game, the early game Dragon Knights. However, Coffee does fall, finally with gank attempts.
Definitely the pick that they needed. They were looking for it, so hungry for it. He was sticking around a little bit too long there, trying to basically chase down Kotori, but the entangling roots followed up by the Howling Blast, and the gank attempt is there to try and secure this one. Does hurt their sieging potential a fair bit, now going to be fully reliant on the likes of Sonya and Lunara. And Lunara not going to be the strongest in siege, obviously whittling it down with poison. Poison on top of a building, don't tell me how that works. I only cast the game, I don't understand the physics of it.
Oh dear. I don't know how to respond to that one, Skimmy. I think you're great the way you are. Don't change, alright?
Oh, thanks, bro. I appreciate the loving right now. As, whoa, booty pop up into the air.
But it didn't go anywhere.
Screaming.
Oh, that was a rhyme!
Oh, that was some spicy rap gods.
Cheeky. Alright, so now the pressure coming out in this bottom lane. As I said, a lot of resources were taken up in the top lane. And now, with Gondo dead on the respawn timers now, it really just leaves Fat94 free. He's looking for these kills. He's gonna get some. It's cleanup time.
Easy time, and this is going to really complement Fish because he's looking for the reset city. He's got so much mana. Innovate there as well for the 50% reduction as well. Can he find it? They're all running away like a bowling alley. He's looking for the home strike. He gets a triple kill. He can't fully cement that 4-man bot lane, but damn well he tried. And this gives them a lot of breathing room and evens out that level deficit. Now it's 8-all.
Overstayed your welcome. I mean, that's what just happened there, and that's a little bit of a mistake that Outlaws do not want to be giving Rich Gang E-Thugs, because very easily they can claw themselves back. In fact, they are starting to lead in that experience. Despite Gondo pressuring top so much, drawing so many resources, Rich Gang E-Thugs are leading because of the kills that they're getting.
Now they're trying to even out that sieging potential, because obviously the top lane has been a real big point of pressure. And the Outlaws know it. They know that they can win this matchup, and it's drawing Fat94 to that lane a lot of the time. And as long as that keeps happening, then this bottom 4-man for the Outlaws has a lot of control. Yes, you don't have wars in this game. Yes, you don't necessarily have the vision with a Tesla, for instance. But if you're knowing that you're winning a top lane, it's only a matter of time before somebody goes there to try and help out.
Yeah, especially with that roaming character coming out. So that siege camp now being taken, it will allow more pressure to be on the bottom lane. However, Outlaws are responding by taking the Bruiser camp. So both mercenary camps will now come out. The Bruiser, if both of them are left untouched, the Bruiser camp should prevail and push over the siege camp.
That it should, because right now it's only a Muradin, a Dwarf, and a Dream. He wants to wave clear with a Stormbolt and a Thunderclap, and well, it doesn't do that much damage. So if you ever die to Dwarven Impact, you've done something wrong in this game. He's waiting for his team to rock on up to defend this one. That heat, or sorry, that full will fall. It's not going to have much health to survive this one whatsoever. Fat94 still in this top lane, actually posturing Vandy for the invade. Oh, just a second too late to deny that one away from Gondo. Fairy is already postured and ready to jump in.
Very just now, it's amazing, right? The aggression's already been swapped over. It used to be Gondo just pushing on their heels on the fort. Now, because of Fat94 nurturing that top lane, making sure that giving Fairy a helping hand where needed, because we saw in that last game, it was just very, very difficult. Army of the Dead actually being popped quite early by Fairy.
Ooh,
and Fat94 very low.
Not going to be enough. However, the Blessed Shield comes across as that insurance saying you will not get away. And yeah, just
very
pressure
clean
in the bot lane. There wasn't enough pressure in the bot lane because they had the wave clear. They were stuck down there, and that allowed the free roam to come out, as we've been discussing.
It's interesting as well. You just can't let yourself be tunneled too deeply on a kill, because as we saw, the remaining members of Outlaws, they came to gank Fat94, and there was just nowhere really for him to run. That poison coming out from the hull, just ticking down slowly, but Ice Bolt from the flank. Very nice Blessed Shield to secure that kill. And what that means is now it just sets back Rich Gang E-Thugs just a little bit. And the experience tables have once again turned, now favoring Outlaws.
And also to mention as well, Might of Nerazim is this new ultimate for 0 to no Void Prison for the setup. It's all about that one-shot game potential looking for it. Leaving's the first one to fall on down. It's a triple kill like that. Can they get the fourth? Oh, yes, they do. 4 people fall to the floor. Maho is going to check out that dragon there as well. Wow. Now a full is looking like minced meat, and potentially a keep can fall on down too, depending on their resource to sustain. After still sitting pretty in the top lane, but level 13 on their doorstep, and the respawn time is being low. It's keep time, baby.
It really is, and the pressure that Outlaws are bringing now, if they don't get that keep, I'll be very, very surprised, but they should. The Dragonite is on 99%, very, very healthy. However, all the members of Rich Gang Ethugs have respawned, and they'll be looking to defend for sure. Fan 94 getting dropped so low, and Gondo goes in, finishes, saying, this is what you get. You've been camping my lane all day. That felt good. But he also falls in return, just diving a little bit too deep.
1v1 trade still in favor, however, for the Outlaws. They've got the Dragon there. The keep is falling on down to 50%. As you can start to see Rich Gang putting up some kind of defense. Winnie Pop leading the charge in support with Fairy, slowing down these members. That Dragon is soon to expire. They try and time out the Arcane Orb combination, but it's not going to be enough. Double tanks just deleted off the map. No chance for them to try and stick around here. This fight, this skirmish has been going on for such a long time. It's bought enough. Then join the fighting again and try and collapse for another one himself.
Now, although they didn't get the keep, it is down to about a third, and they managed to get a couple more kills. The respawn times, however, are quite low, so that meant that Rich Gang Ethugs were back in time to be able to defend, as well as just the armor. Buildings, the damage that you deal obviously scales, so buildings are quite hard to take down, especially keeps. They're very hard to take down as long with those timers, so it will just become easier as the game goes on. It's just to prevent a little of that snowball happening. But Schemey, I'm a little bit worried here now on the side of Rich Gang Ethugs. They need to get that level 13 and just kind of recapture some of the momentum they had.
Yeah, I mean, their composition obviously speaks volumes in terms of the picking and one-shot potential. That is really their sort of go-to plan. But it's not going to be much of an issue for them so far. I saw that as well. I saw Fanny Forward left the game.
Yeah.
Saw why we went for the pause, but I'm not too sure what went on there. But regardless, yeah, level 13 is what they're after. They're just trying to find some picks, but right now, definitely the Outlaws are commanding the sieging picture that they definitely have in their pocket.
It really, really is. I mean, 4 Siege Giants down there, that just looks scary. And if I was these guys right now looking at that, how are we going to clear it? Because they're just getting so zoned by Outlaws.
Oh, a fantastic Bless Shield. They're interrupting the Twilight Dream, which could have been enough for them to try and turn this fight around on its head. And that was going to be their best chance at forcing that fight before the 16 mark had been achieved. But just like that, free fall to the floor. Looking for more. The Poison Spear, so damn close. It wasn't going to be enough. And the Singularity Spike, I'm sure he's glad he actually missed that one. But this means now another keep gets sorted on. A naked keep at that, Vandy. It's going to fall, it's going to undress.
Oh no, not the naked keep! Fan 94 trying to make a play, but he does get taken down. Now they have level 16, Team Outlaws. Coffee's dropping so low. The keep manages to get him down, but they take the keep. Oh, another kill for Fesh! He's out of mana! He couldn't do it.
Katori, he went for the Twilight Dream, but it absolutely hit nothing but the air itself. And a big sigh of relief was let on the battlefield there, as this means that 2 more have fallen. And the core is now in sight. Mouth is going to fall as well. Rondo's got the Wrath available. With Arthur's been down, this is looking like the GG.
It really, really is. Skimmy, I don't think there's much that Rich Gang Ethos can do. They're down so many levels, but Panda, she's dropping, and she does drop. However, there's just enough team members to get it. Lahal now just padding his stats, surely, trying to get those kills.
Ben coming in with the pause there. That is a bit of toxicity, if you've ever seen it. Now we've got to get a ref to unpause it.
Would you like to do it? I think I've been doing it wrong all day.
We're back in.
There we go.
Well,
Boom.
that was the game, Vandy. I don't know how to feel about that one. It was a game that, well, for the most part, was dictated really by the fact that the pressure in both of those lanes for so much rotations from Fat 94 that he wasn't really able to either help the top or the bottom lane.
I really liked, I really liked the team comp that they were running. I liked the pressure. They had a game plan now to help Fairy out against that Sonya lane that was coming out, because, I mean, they learned. That's just showing that they're adapting. So for the early game, it was going quite well. They were getting picks, and even when we saw Outlaws overstaying their welcome in the bottom lane, that 94 came to clean up on the sides. But then after that, it became a little bit predictable. They were expecting it. Gondo as well. I mean, he just gets stronger as the game progresses on Sonya, turns into an absolute monster. So many times he should have dropped, but he just got away with a sliver of health.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate situation for those guys, but nonetheless, that is Rich Gang in its infancy with a few subs, and I'm sure those guys, when they're not hungover and when they are in their full 5-man squad, have a much better event showing as the HTC season will kick off later this month. But that does it for this one. 2-0 on the day for the Outlaws as they get themselves a shot at redemption going into the grand finals once again up against Crimson to claim themselves the infamous prize of pre-season winner. We're going to be jumping to a quick break, and when we return, we will have an established team ready to bring you for that one, so don't go anywhere.